Sup?
We are the tribe from the north, we're brave and we're bold. Defeating our rivals never gets old. Making our way to the Big Sky Conference. Watch out, 'cause here comes the silver and gold. Whoa, whoa. This is Tubbs at the Club for the Vandals of Idaho.
Hi, how are you all doing? It's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've done a show. But I am excited to be back, excited to talk about my favorite team outside of my first favorite team right now, and I am just excited to get things going. Sorry about how I ended things last year. Didn't do a little recap of the season. Some other matters happened and didn't get to do a quick recap. But today I am here to talk to you. Sorry about that. Talk to you guys about previewing the Vandal women's basketball team, their season, how I think they're going to do, how they were projected in the media, the coaches' polls, introduce the new players, talk about last season a little bit, just to give a quick recap for those that might have forgotten what happened, and just we'll see where things go this year. Hoping things go a little smoother this year. Hoping I don't come across as nervous as I did in the beginning of the last season. I know I might, but I'm trying to get better at it. So just keeping things going right now. Starting things off, let's go back up for this. Starting things off, the quick review for those that might have forgotten, because it's been 7 months now, almost 7-8 months. They were projected to finish first. They finished second, lost to Idaho State in the finals, as I think I've said, and I think it's Ross Cunningham. Like this team is going to be like the conference runs through the state of Idaho, and it did last year. And as I'll talk about in a little bit coming up, it runs through the state. Gina Markson got second team all conference. Beyonce got first team. Gabby got first team. I fat fingered that and made an exclamation point in my notes. And Haley Christopher got a sixth all reserve, I think is what it called. I have it written weird in here. Did make it all the way to the finals and they made it all the way to the finals with only 8 players, but they ran out of steam against a very good Idaho State team. And if you watched the game, you saw they ran out of gas. They powered through Northern Arizona and Montana State, and it looked a little shaky against Montana State, but their clutch players came through in the end and they pulled it out. But you can only get so far with 8 players, and against a very good team like Idaho State, you are gonna have to have all things go your way just to have a chance. And it just, as Coach Newley said it in his tweet at the end of the season, the Rona is a beast, and it caught them at the wrong time. Moving along. Before I move along, speaking of moving along, if you are looking for a great all-inclusive week-long vacation, don't look past your backyard. Venture into the greatest protected wilderness in the continental United States, located right here in the great state of Idaho. You enjoy a multi-day trip down the Middle Fork of the main salmon of River of No Return. I don't know if I copied this right now that I'm looking at it. The Salmon River Canyons or the Selway. I don't know if I said that right either. You can even check out our special trips like the one to see the Perseid meteor shower, camp on pristine beaches, run amazing whitewater hike scenic trails, spot wildlife, soak in beautiful natural hot springs, and take in the history along the river and fish some of the most remote stretches of the river in the country. You just bring your clothes and let HRE handle the rest. Hughes River Expedition has been Vandal owned and operated since 1976 and ready to take you on a vacation of a lifetime. What are you waiting for? Find out what it's like today. Find out what it's like to grab a paddle, catch dinner, and ride the bull all throughout the Gem State. call them now at 800-262-1882 or check them out at hughesriver.com. Moving along to this season, they media poll. Coaches picked Idaho State to win. 10 first place votes. One went to Montana State, and I think, if I had to guess, that's probably Seton Sobleski. I forget, I can't remember his last name. Sobleski probably voted in Montana State. Idaho was picked first. Idaho State was picked first. Montana State second. Idaho third. Northern Arizona fourth, and Montana fifth to round out the top five. In the media poll, which I participated in my first one participated in mine for the first time ever. For the first time, it was media picked Idaho State to finish first, Montana State second, Idaho third, Southern Utah fourth, and Northern Arizona fifth. So there was a little difference, but maybe just by one team, so not too much difference. Pretty concise. Top half of the league, I think. Big Sky all conference team. Beyond Speed named MVP was my vote. Daryn White, Montana State. Dora Goles, Idaho State. Diaba Kanate, Idaho State. Carmen G. Feller, Montana, and I think Allred top reserve, or just another 6-person all Big Sky. Karika Rashid from Northern Arizona. It was my this is what I picked. I picked these 6 women to be in the top Big Sky, and I think they are just they're the best in the conference. Now could be some other names that I think thought should have been in there, but I don't want to speculate on why they're not in here right now. So not that I'm not going to speculate on things I do not know the answer to. So, but I'm not going to push anybody to try and force the answer to anybody if they don't want to talk about it. Moving to what you probably came for. Idaho stuff. More of the Idaho women's basketball stuff. There was a big list of players. Most people you expected, some not. Some names you probably are shocked to find that were not listed on the roster this year. Again, not going to speculate on why they're not there. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to put answers or anything in their mouth. But they're just not on the roster right now. Started the players that graduated. Gabby Harrington came in, transferred from Montana, had a great 1 year at Idaho, and probably was one of my favorite players out of the year. Last year, she filled the role that she was the spark plug that Idaho needed when their other star players were not making shots. She picked the team up and kept them going. Natalie Clinker, she graduated, and I believe is at grad school now at WSU. I believe it's at grad school. Nina Carlson graduated. K.E. Jones, she left the team in January, but I'm just including everybody that was listed last year. She left the team in January, I think transferred out, and then decided to go back to Australia and play pro ball. Haley Christopher is not on the roster, not listed on the roster. Champney Pulliam not on the roster. Gina Markson, again, probably I'd say the biggest loss. Gina, who I'd say is probably the biggest loss, is why I didn't list them. Some players not in some not in my all conference team is why they're not listed. This is why they're not on the team right now. Gina Markson, probably the biggest loss, but again, as you've probably seen me, if you know me on Twitter, they coach newly reloads and they will just keep on going like nothing happened. And Janey King, again, not listed on the roster. They do lose key players, but they do lose some key players with Gina and Haley, but they have brought in players that are going to be more than capable of filling the role, more than capable of filling that role. Returning, starting with probably one of my favorite I'll let that slip. One of my favorite players is returning back to the team, not as a player, as a coach. Taylor Pierce is returning as an assistant coach. If any of you know me, she is one of my favorite players, along with Michaela. Those two are my favorite. They played. Yeah, she's playing. She joined the team. She joined as a coach, and when I saw the announcement at work, I was excited and might have let out some explicitive words that I shouldn't have said at work, but luckily I was by myself, so nothing to worry about with that. And the one person that I think I'm assuming has come back for her COVID year, Allison Kirby is coming back. I am very much excited to have her back. It helps bridge the gap. It'll make the loss of Gina less noticeable, I'd say. And we didn't have a couple of these players for the Big Sky tournament, and there was no issues, I'd say. More just depth at that point, but Allison more than filled the role perfectly fine when it was time, and when it was a time. When they were boys and they were a limited roster, she played that leadership role. She ran I don't know, point guard's the right word to use. Ran the team well and ran the offense well. Now going into newcomers Now coming on to the newcomers joining the team this year for the first year. Jordan Allred. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I am still learning them, even though I've had this for a while now. Jordan Allred, guard from Orinda, California. Ashlyn Wallace from right down the road in Clarkston, Washington. Guard Madison Rubino, post from Snohomish, Washington. Skylar B, related to Beyond Speeds. There is two of them. Guard / post out of Washougal, Washington. And another freshman, McKenna Jacqueline from Kelowna, British Columbia. Another guard / post player. They did also bring in 3 transfers this year. Two transfers. One from Sacramento State, keeping that Montana pipeline a well-oiled machine. Tiana Johnson, guard / post from Kalispell, Montana, and Luis Forsyth, guard from British Columbia by way of Gonzaga. And they are going to have a good. Those are the players that have joined the team this year. Sorry. There is a lot of newcomers on this team that are going. There is a lot of there is a lot of new faces on this team, but there is still a lot of good returning players on this team. You're gonna have Allison coming back, which is gonna be great to have that senior guard leadership on the team with people not there. Let's bring up the roster now so I can look at this right now. You'll still have your seniors, you'll have your class. You'll still have your seniors, you'll have that good senior leadership, you'll have just everything. There's a lot of new faces, but I'm saying right now, before going into anything, there's not a lot to worry about with this team. As I've said, and I think Sean has said in the past, and others have said, Coach Newley John Newley, Krista Sanford, Drew Muscatel, Taylor Pierce, and other assistant coaches, they don't rebuild. It is never a rebuild job at Idaho. It is always reload and keep going for that conference title year in and year out, every year. That is the goal every year, fighting for the NCAA tournament, and they do that. There has never been a year where I didn't think they were not going to compete for that conference title. If, with that said, with the new faces, there is with that said, with the new faces on the roster, there is still, by the way, the only two big people that are not listed on the roster are like I said, Gina and Haley. So there's not too much panic. There is maybe a slight change in what you'd guess is your rotation. You're gonna guess the rotation. Guess in the lineup, but they're still great players. They're still great people on the team, so nothing to worry about. Everything is going to be all right with this team. If I had to guess the first lineup you'll see on this Sunday, the 9th, against Whitman, if I had to just take a crack at the lineup, it is always something different. So don't hold my mouth. Don't hold me to it, is what I'm trying to say. If I had to guess, it's going to be Allison Kirby, Sydney Gandy, Tiana Johnson, Beyonce B, and Louise Forsyth. Just going more of the older lineup to kind of set the tone of what you would expect for first game of the season. Now going on to the schedule, it is like every year, John Newley and the team sets out to make a tough out of conference schedule, and that is no different this year. Three teams that made the NCAA tournament this year: Texas, Washington State University, and Oregon State all made the NCAA tournament this year, and Idaho State if you include the conference opponents, which I will. They include four conference tournament teams. It is, I wouldn't say less difficult because it always plays those tough teams, but it is that well-balanced team. You have your easier teams in the beginning, your Whitman College, your Lewis and Clark State, which Whitman College, coached by a familiar name to those Vandal fans around, coached by a familiar name to those familiar with Idaho basketball. That is me. Michaela's mom, Michelle Friends, is the head coach at Whitman College. So that'll be a fun first matchup in the ICC arena on the 7th. Lewis and Clark it's easy. Oops. Sorry if that was loud to anybody listening. It is an easy first three. They run out with Washington State to start out of conference play, move into some tournament stuff, I guess, and then start with quick dip there. It's easy schedule. Your challenging out of conference schedule, like always. Biggest game I'd say on there is Texas, but if I had to be the blatant homer, I think having Washington State. I wouldn't say hammering. I have been wanting Washington State to come play, the one of the wins team to come play in Moscow, or just to play them in general, just do a double header. And I'm going to keep pushing for that, like how they did with Eastern in the past, where you play women's play first, then men's play second. If they could do that with Washington State, I think that'd be fun. But hey, you can get what you want. They also travel to Hawaii for Christmas and stuff, but it's okay. You'll learn. You'll live and you'll learn with these things. Play Oregon State in Northern Iowa and Hawaii, which I'm jealous about. I'll be stuck in cold, snowy Moscow for that, but it'll be fun. Conference play, it's Big Sky Conference. You have nothing to fret. I know I'm going to be making the trip I'm going to be at every single home game plus the oddball away game at Eastern and at NAU. I'll be at these. There might be some live tubs on location shows. for those games, and I'm definitely going to be in the Big Sky. I'm definitely going to be at the Big Sky Conference tournament this year in Boise. I don't want to miss that. The kind of running along to the. I think it's here. Moving along to the pulling the taps. I know I'm by myself, so I'm just going to kind of be going oddball questions by myself. The first one that I got from patron Nick Weber on our Tubs at the Club Discord. If you want to join, please subscribe to our Patreon for at least $1, and you'll get a Discord membership so you can come talk to me and everybody else about all things Idaho related. Which newcomer are you most excited about? I had to pick one that I am most excited about for this year. I would say is if I had to pick one, I'd say is Ashlyn Wallace. I'd say just because it's I think she committed first in this class way back in, I want to say September of 2019. So it's been almost 2 years since then, but it has still been the one that I'm most excited about. The most, I would say, I've watched the tape on the most just to kind of give myself acclimated to these new players. And I think she's the future. She's going to be the one that's going to be running the show for the next 4 years in Idaho in the ICC arena, leading us to championships. Moving along now. Which returning player not named Balance V do you expect to make the biggest impact? That is a tough one. And if I have to returning player, I'm going to go with the one that started getting hot in the tournament with Sydney Gandy. She showed me that, I saw a lot of similarities to that of another former number 14 for that award, number 14 for 14 for Idaho, and Taylor Pierce, just the lights out shooting threes, running it. I think she is probably the biggest. If she is shooting hot, there's nothing stopping Idaho this year. They will be I'd say nearly unstoppable, but they'll be very tough to beat if she is shooting well on any given night. Do I see, and then next question is, do I see a replacement for Nat's physicality on this team? I do. I think that, make sure I get the name right so I'm not mispronouncing it. I do think we do have someone that's going to be able to replace it. Maybe not in the same ways that you would expect. Maybe the same ways that Natalie Clinker did, just because it's hard to it's not hard. It's hard to get that same kind of thing. You can't be the same person. You can only hope to kind of replicate it a little bit. And I think Tiana Johnson can do that. It will be for just a year, but I think she'll bridge that gap bridge that gap. She can be the replacement. She'll be the replacement for Nat's physicality on this team. I think she'll bridge that gap she'll take kind of that year to be that person. She's played in the Big Sky. She knows the Big Sky Conference. She's played against Idaho State in multiple years. She knows what she's doing. She'll be able to kind of fill in that gap for the year and kind of let the Madison Rubino and McKenna Jacqueline develop, get stronger, get just get stronger, get bigger, get just more physical, get more acclimated to the college game. Let them develop, and then when she graduates next year, you have people that are ready to plug and play right there and go and just keep the wheels churning on this bus that is the Vandal women's basketball team every year, and it'll be fun to watch. And if I was to give something else, and I'm more just, oh gosh, I might have. Yeah, it is just I do see, like I said, I do see the replacement and it kind of the follow-up question that Nick asked about this. If not, we'll be able to match that match up with ISU if they play a physical game like they're capable of doing. I still think so. I do. If not, I think if for some reason the person that I expect is not, I still think there's going to be someone that'll come in and do that. They've shown. I think there's just I think that there'll just be more than enough. There's more than enough depth on this team that if someone's not able to make the play, that they'll find somebody else that'll be capable of playing that position, coming in and do the job that person's not able to do at that point. And they'll give you a try later. If not, then we'll see what happens. But there is more to it than just there are people on this team, but I think everybody will be able to but get the match, the physicality. Nothing to worry about, I think, for this year. Nothing to worry about. They'll be able to match it, I think. But with the replacement, they have it. That I'll be able to match it. And I'm just excited for basketball to be back. I'm excited. I'm excited for this season. I know I'm kind of rambling at this point, but I'm just excited. It has been 8 long months of, I won't say nothing's the right word. It has been 8 long months with football going the way it has been. It's felt even longer. But I am excited for this year. I am excited to watch this team this year. I've probably the most excited I've been for the Vandal women's basketball season in a long time, probably since the 2016-17 season and the season after they won the conference tournament. I got to go to Waco, and oh boy, Waco was a fun trip, which maybe I'll tell that story sometime. I don't know, but a lot of good memories from that trip in Reno. But I'm excited. I hope you're excited for the season as much as I am. I know my monotone voice doesn't sound like I am, but I am very excited. If you want to follow me as I talk about the team this year, I am on Twitter at Hemi_71 on Twitter. I do have a YouTube channel that is my first name and my last name, Heemstra, Hiemstra on Twitter, on YouTube. I post all my Vandal Marching Band stuff there. Don't forget to follow Tubbs at the Club on YouTube so you can stay up to date on all our shows. Follow us on Twitter so you can follow everything we do. I know Brian and Dallas are going to be doing their basketball shows again after after last season. I'm excited to see the men's team play this year as well. Surprising for me to say. It's Mr. Sunshine. I am. But I'm excited for the season. I hope you are. If you got any projections or just comments you want to make, send them to me on Twitter. As always, I'll try and interact with them if I can. If I don't, I'm sorry. I'll try and retweet them when I get a moment, when I see them. And what do I want to do? Again, rambling on again. Don't forget, donate to if I'm going to press this, I'm going to just ask donate to the marching band if you don't want to donate to athletics right now. I know things are going a little rough, but still come support the athletes. They deserve the support as much as that. I know people might not have a happy opinion of the coaches, whether that be one sport or another, but still come out, support the athletes. They deserve it, and cheer for them when they get a block, cheer for them when they make a shot, cheer for them when they make a play. It'll be fun. And if you still don't want to do that, please consider donating to the marching band. I know they can use their support. I know they're trying to get new uniforms. I've seen what those uniforms look like, the old ones, and they are pretty rough shape right now. So if you can give any sort of money to them to support them, Spencer Martin and the band will greatly appreciate it, whatever you can give to them if you so choose to do that. It has been quick. I know I've rambled on now for almost 30 minutes, but it's been a show. You know what? I'm sorry, Colby, but I got to do it. I'm playing you out the beer song. Go Vandals.